All right, folks, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to solve a absolute value inequality. So if we have a problem like the absolute value of 4y minus 9 is less than or equal to 7, what we're going to do is I'm going to change the inequality sign here to just a simple equal sign, and then I'm going to do the inequality test. I'm not going to worry about the rules of flipping the inequalities and all that other stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just rewrite this as the absolute value of 4y minus 9 equals 7. Now we will come back to this right here, because we will use this after our inequality test. So from here, I'm just going to solve this like a regular absolute value equation. There's going to be two different scenarios. We're going to have a positive 7 and a negative 7. So we're going to set this up as 4y minus 9 equals 7. And we're going to solve this. And then we're going to do 4y minus 9 equals negative 7. So now let's solve. We're going to add 9 to both sides, which is going to give me 4y equals 16. Divide by 4, y equals 4. And then here we're going to add 9 to both sides. So we're going to get 4y equals, let's see, we add 9, that's going to give me a 2. And then y equals 1/2 when you reduce your fraction. So those are actually what's called my critical values. What I'm actually going to do now is I'm going to do the inequality test. So we're going to do a number line. And on this number line, we're going to put our critical values in the correct order. So I'm going to have a spot here, which is going to be 1/2. And I have a spot here, which is going to be 4. From there, all I simply need to do is going to pick some test values. Now these test values we're going to plug back into my original equation and see if I get a true or false statement. I get to pick the numbers, so I want to pick numbers that are easy to do math with. So I need a number to the left of negative 1/2. That I'm going to pick as 0. I need a number between 1/2 and 4. I'm thinking 1's pretty easy to do math with. And then a number greater than 4 that's easy to do math with, I'm just going to pick 10. And all we're going to do with these numbers, all we're going to do is we're simply just going to plug them back in here. So we're going to have the absolute value of 4 times 0, my first critical value here, minus 9, and that's going to have to be less than or equal to 7. Well, 4 times 0 is 0, negative 9, so I'm going to get 9 is less than or equal to 7. Well, that doesn't make sense, so this part doesn't work. So I'm going to plug in 1. I'm going to do the absolute value of 4 times 1 minus 9 is less than or equal to 7. Well, 4 times 1 is 4. 4 minus 9 is negative 5, and the absolute value of negative 5 is 5. So I'm going to get 5 is less than or equal to 7. So this works. Yay, that one works. And then we're going to do the same thing for 10. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the absolute value of 4 times 10 minus 9 is less than or equal to 7. This gives me 40 minus 9, 31. Absolute value of 31 is 31 is less than or equal to 7. That doesn't work. So this doesn't work here. So my actual solution is to include the 1/2 because of the equal to sign all the way up to 4. Now this is how you got away with writing it in algebra, but we are now in algebra 2. So I'm going to actually write this in set notation as well, or I'm going to write it in set notation. So we're going to say x equals the set of all x's such that x is an element of the real numbers, and x is going to be less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to 4. Now, I included my critical values because at that point, that's where it's actually going to equal 7. If it doesn't equal 7, then you're just going to do the less than and the less than.